Hello guys, and welcome once again to Savannah Essence. Today we are making oats and honey soap, and we are using this quick oats instead of our normal colloidal oatmeal or our normal oat milk that people prefer to use. I do not have access to any of those, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own oat milk. And so I'm going to soak this quick oats in water, and then I'll blend it, and then I'll strain it, and then I'll use the milk out of that in the soap making process. So what I'm doing now is soaking it. I'll soak this for 5 minutes, and then I'll come back to blend it. In the meantime, as I do that, I will now start measuring my hard butters, and then I'll melt that as well, so that will also be cooling down whilst I continue with the other processes. I'm using this oats. I know we have different oats. People in cosmetic production we like to use colloidal oat milk because it's soluble in water, and so you can easily just disperse it in water. But like I said, I do not have access to that, and I have access to this, and I like to experiment. So here we go. So I am using shea butter and cocoa butter in this particular recipe, and so I'm going to measure them, and then I'll melt them, and then I'll set them aside, and then when it's time to add the liquid oils, I will do so. This soap contains shea butter, cocoa butter, coconut oil, olive oil pomace, sunflower oil, and castor oil. So it's meant to be a mild, easygoing, soft soap. So now that my oatmeal is properly soaked, I'm going to blend it, and I'm done blending it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to strain it. So I'll strain it, and then I'll use it in the soap making process. Now I am using a 1:2 oil and water to lye ratio. So that means that if I'm using 300 grams of water, my lye should be 150 grams. So what I'm doing is that in the mixing of the lye, I'm using a 1:1 ratio. So I'm using, let's say, 1 equal amounts of water, equal amounts of lye to dissolve the lye, and then the remainder is what I'll now change that as milk to incorporate in my soap. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, I'll explain it as the video go along. But now I've already dissolved my lye. I'm now adding the honey to it. I'm just adding 1 tablespoonful of honey into the lye water, and then I'll mix it thoroughly. Now honey is water soluble, so usually it makes sense to rather dissolve it in your water instead of adding it to your oils, because it will dissolve in water, it will not dissolve in oil. You should get that right. Okay, so this is my shea butter and my cocoa butter that I've melted. I'm now incorporating the liquid oils into that to get me my complete oil quantity to use to make this soap. So like I said, I've just measured the coconut oil. Now I'm measuring the castor oil. I'll measure the olive oil pomace and the sunflower oil, and then whatever is left, I will incorporate that into the soap. Now finally, I'm adding my lye water to the oils. So because I incorporated the milk into and the honey into it, you can see that it's turned brownish, and it's going to stay like this until it starts curing, and then the color changes slightly back to cream. And so that's basically what's going to happen. In case you're making exactly this soap, just bear that in mind, that as you're making it, it will be brownish, and then as it goes along, it will start fading. I've just poured in the rest of the milk, the oat milk, into the butter, and then I'll stick blend it briefly, and then I'll now have a complete soap batter. So this soap has now reached emulsion, and I'm going to measure my fragrance and add it to it. I wanted to make the colorants sort of do a swirl, until I realized that the fragrance that I was using will turn the butter into a tan brown, or into brown. It discolors, and so I realized that it really didn't make sense so I'll just stick to the natural color of the soap whilst letting the fragrance turn it into a tan brown, so it stays within the theme of honey and oatmeal. And so that's basically the reason why I separated it initially, but at the long run you see that it doesn't really make any significant difference. So yeah, so let's go back to when I was talking about the lye to water ratio. So for instance, this soap has a water quantity of 300 grams. So instead of measuring 300 grams of water, I rather measured 150 grams of water. And then the other 150 grams of water that should have been added to it to make it 300 grams, I used milk. So I used the oat milk in place of the other water. And so I dissolved equal amounts of lye with equal amounts of water. So that means 150 grams of lye, 150 grams of water. That's what I dissolved initially. And that is what I put the honey into that lye water. So that whole mixture was equal amounts of lye, equal amounts of water. That dissolves easily. And then later on, when I'm making the butter, when I'm making the soap, I incorporate the milk into the final product, and then I stick blend it. And so that gives me a complete water ratio. So basically these days that's how I like to make the honey, the soaps that contain milk. That is because milk, because of the sugar quantities, the milk scorches, and I don't like that. So I rather like to incorporate the milk, but be it powder, liquid, into the batter when I've actually added a lye to it, instead of using it to dissolve the lye. So that's what I tend to do these days, but you can do whichever way you want. That's entirely up to you, but this is easy. So if you're a beginner, I encourage you to do it this way. That's what I did for the goat milk soap, and this is the same thing that I'm doing for this one. Now I didn't quite have an idea of the texture that I wanted to use. I wanted to initially add oats to it, but I'm one of those people who really don't appreciate people adding botanicals or fruits or dry flowers or petals onto soaps. I don't get the whole idea of it. I mean, soap is a functional product. I know that these days we turn it into an art, but it has a use. That's why we make it. And so, but later on, I just decided that, hey, let me just sprinkle a little bit of the oats on top of it. And so that's what I finally decided to do. That's why I kept playing around with the top over and over. And then finally, I got into exactly how I wanted it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to this channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see here, and if you love it, I'd appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. You can tell us that you like what we do in the comment section. We'll really appreciate it. If you are old here, welcome once again to yet another video. If you're old, you haven't subscribed, I would really encourage you to do so. It will help us to be able to make a lot more of these soap videos. If you've watched this, you've watched another one of our videos, then that means that you are not just a one-off consumer of our content, but you actually sort of appreciate a little bit of what we do. Although we are just starting out, we don't have the specialized YouTube gears that people have, but we're trying our best, and we hope you see that and you appreciate that, and will like it if you subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. So that is our liquid butter, and I'm just spraying some rubbing alcohol on top of it so that it prevents soda ash. Yeah, now look at it up close. It looks beautiful. Okay, so this is Cat's day. It's been approximately 16 hours, and it's time to cut the soap. And let me also say that this soap went through the gel phase. All my milk soap will go through gel phase because of, number one, the milk in the soap, so the sugar content in the soap. And number two, because I come from a relatively hot weather. Where I am in Ghana is always hot all year round. And so because the soap already is heating up and the ambient temperature is already hot, it results into a soap, a very hot soap that eventually gels. And so all my milk soaps will gel unless I put it in the freezer. My freezer that I have is for food. There's no way I'm going to put soap in it. So eventually when I buy, let's say, a refrigerator for cosmetic products, I'll put the soap in the fridge so you appreciate the differences that a gel makes to a soap. But this soap fully gelled. Let me just tell you that. For those of you who do not know how the gelling looks like, you can watch our how to make the cow milk soap, where I sort of took a little picture showing how the gelling looks like. Okay. So this soap is quite a very simple soap to make. I would encourage you to make it. It's very mild. So if you have sensitive skin, or you have a child who has sensitive skin, you have eczema, people who generally have issues with their skin, or are quite get irritated in using other cosmetic products, this will be an excellent soap for you, because this particular one has a 10% super fats, and the milk in it is excellent, and then all these butters and oils are soft and mild for your skin. And so for this particular soap, I'm going to add it to my baby and mama collection. So this is the soap that will go with it, and I really like it. Look at how it looks. And just so you know, I'll not be incorporating raw oats into my soap anytime soon. I just wanted to try it, and I regret it. It looks nice on top, but no, I don't get it, so no. It's just a personal preference, but so yeah, I hope you try this at home or wherever you are. Kindly try it. I'd really encourage you to give it a try. Don't go around looking for oat milk or oat milk powder when you have your quick oats that you consume at home for breakfast. You can easily turn that into your milk and use it to make the soap. I tell you, this soap is so conditioning. It's excellent. Like when you use it, you can feel how thick and creamy the lather is, and you know it's simply because of the oat milk they've added to it. So give this a try and let me know in the comment section how it goes. You can tweak this, you can add other ingredients to it, you can remove some of the oils that you don't have, and just play around with it, and let's see how it turns out. You can share your experience with us in the comment section. If you also be giving it a try, let me know. Okay, so until next time in our other soap making videos, until we see you again in our next videos, thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Okay, please subscribe. It really helps us. Okay, thank you, and do have a nice day. Bye bye.